The fear of failure. We've talked about this a lot on the stream before, but it's worth repeating, especially because we are at the end of another Animation Mentor term right now. There's other schools that are finishing terms around the same time. And unfortunately, when a term is finishing, not everyone is going to pass. Not everyone is going to finish the term and move on to the next. Sometimes you finish the term and you don't pass the term. And that is very, very, very hard for a lot of different reasons. One of the big ones is that feeling of being a failure, feeling of I didn't succeed. I failed at what I was supposed to do. And should I really be an animator? Everyone else passed. Why should I keep trying? There's a lot of elements here. One of the biggest being that failure, as we tend to think about it, is not really correct. It's not the right way of thinking about it. And this is something that in general society, we're taught from in school, right from the start, that failure is bad. When you take a test at school, you need to pass your test. If you don't get a passing grade, you've failed. And that's bad. We need to succeed. If you lose at sports, you've failed. And you don't get to win. You don't get to move on. You've failed. It's always bad. It's always put in this very negative sense. And I'm not saying failure is positive. It's not happy, sunshine, and rainbows. No, definitely not. But it is not the end of the world. And especially in our artistic field, animation, art, whatever, failure is part of what we do. We need to fail in order to improve. And this is one of the hardest lessons that there is to learn in any art form, especially when you're going to school and especially when you're paying for school. It's hard. It doesn't make this easier. But I just want to mention this because it's a very important thing to keep in mind. As our animators, especially as animators, we are going to fail constantly. I've been animating for about 10 years now, and I am constantly failing all the time. I try things, doesn't work out. I do something else, doesn't work out. But I try again, and I learn from my mistakes. As an animator, we will do things wrong. On these streams, I've been animating and you've seen me make mistakes, and then I correct them. Making a mistake, failing at something, is not a bad thing. It's how we learn. The important thing is that we learn from our mistakes, that we look at what we did and go, okay, that didn't work. How can I do it better? How can I improve myself to keep going? So I just want to kind of put that out there. Whether you pass or fail, honestly, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is, did you learn something? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you pass the term, great. Did you learn anything? Nah, not really. Are you really ready to keep going if you don't feel like you've learned something? But if you failed, but you learned a ton, you learned so many new things, well, that's great. And sure, you have to retake a class, but you're so much more further ahead than you were before. That's still a success. And the other thing to keep in mind is that everyone is starting from a different place. Some people, when they start a school, they already have experience in something. 3D modeling, animation, some sort of artistic field. Others are starting from literally zero. No drawing experience, no 3D experience, no animation experience, absolutely nothing. That's not fair to compare one person to another based on that level of experience. It's just not going to be a fair comparison. You can only compare yourself to yourself. Are you better than you were at the start of the term? Did you learn something? Did you improve your understanding of what you're doing? If yes, that's a success. Now, does it mean that you should go to the next class? Not all the time. Sometimes we need more practice in this one area to get it right, to make sure we understand before we move on to the next step. And that's okay. That's normal. We don't have to only succeed to do better. A good example of this is, imagine you animate a shot, and this goes for anything. You animate a shot and it succeeded. Great, just perfect, 100% right off the bat. It worked, yay. Why did it work? Would you be able to answer the question? If you're totally new to animation, you've animated a shot and it just worked. It's beautiful, 100%. The mentor just goes, yeah, great, A+, move on. Why? Why did it work? Would you know? Probably not. You would just kind of repeat that same process and hope to get the same result again in the end. But you wouldn't know why. If you fail, you learn why. If I fail, I learn, oh, I don't want to animate it this way. That creates the wrong type of feeling. It makes the ball bounce not feel heavy enough. It doesn't bounce correctly. Once I fail there, I can go, okay, let's try it a new way. And you learn. And you figure out what doesn't work and what does work. And that's what gets you to learn. We need to fail. We need to make mistakes. We need to learn from them. Otherwise, we're never going to grow correctly as an animator, and we're never going to grow as quickly as an animator. Honestly, the best animators, and for everyone here who's probably working in the industry right now, you can probably attest to this. What makes a really good animator is not that you don't make mistakes, is that you just know how to keep going after you make the mistake and then learn to fix it. And that's the big thing, is just learning how to fix your mistakes and keep going. Improve it, learn from it, move on. So I just wanted to put that out there. A lot of people here might be like in that position where maybe they're going to pass, maybe they're not. Whether you pass or fail, that doesn't matter. The important thing is, did you learn something? That's the goal here. And failure doesn't mean that you're never going to be an animator. I know so many people who failed so many terms at Animation Mentor, who had to go back. So they made it forward through multiple classes, then went back to the beginning and started over again. And now they're working at big studios. Are they failures? No. Did it take them a little longer? Yeah. Is that a bad thing? Not at all. They got their dream in the end. That's the important bit. So, very important to keep in mind. So that's my little soapbox there. I just wanted to say that because it's a very important thing and something that took me way too long to figure out. I was way too stressed about always succeeding, and any failure, even a little one, really brought me down when I was in school. It was really bad. I was way too much of a perfectionist for my own health. So hopefully it helps someone. And this is not to say that you shouldn't feel bad about not passing. Honestly, like, if you don't pass, that sucks. It hurts. Is it the end of the world? No. Are you going to become an animator? Yeah, if you keep going, you'll definitely become an animator. I firmly believe that almost anyone can become an animator as long as you are active in your learning. You are figuring out what you're doing wrong, figuring out what you're doing right, and improving yourself each time. And should you not feel sad? No, definitely feel sad. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to not be happy about not passing. But we don't want to act on that. I mentioned this in one of the classes earlier, but when I was an Animation Mentor, I can count about 3 different times, at least that I remember, where I was essentially ready to quit, where I thought I was never going to become an animator. And it was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to sign the resignation letter right here and send it in. And at least one of those times I was like ready to hit the enter key on the send button. Just like finger hovering over the button. Ready to just, yeah, that's it. But I held off. And now, 10 years later, I'm an animator. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm having fun. It took a while, but I did it. If I quit at that time when I felt down about my work and I didn't feel like I was good enough, I wouldn't be where I am today. So you need to keep pushing yourself forward and don't act on these negative feelings the moment that they happen. Take time, talk to other people. If you're really feeling like down and out about your skills or about passing or not passing, talk to people about it. Have a conversation about it. Talk to the school about it, especially if you're an animation mentor. There's a whole group of people ready to help you get through those times and talk about what can be done to help make a learning experience better for you. So, yeah. Very important thing to keep in mind. Especially like all of us, we're artists. We're very picky about our work and very self-critical a lot of time. It's very easy to fall into that kind of negativity spiral about your work or your skill level or kind of your progress through a course. So, yeah, that's my rant. There you go. A little soapbox. Now let me catch up with the chat here. Even a small improvement is better than where you started. Exactly. Always learn what you can from others and understand the formula and create a workflow. I always revisit the same exercise before the next class. That helps me way more. Very true. You want to learn from others. You want to learn from yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from everywhere, honestly. Learn from other people's mistakes. That's one of the nice things about Animation Mentor, and I'm sure other schools as well, is an Animation Mentor. You can see other people's critiques. So when I was a student, I would get my critique, and then I would watch the critiques of all my classmates. And then I would watch Cameron's critiques. And then I would watch Cameron's classmates' critiques. And then I would watch my friends' critiques. And I would do that every single week, along with just watching random critiques. And I would learn from their mistakes. If they did a mistake, but I didn't, I would go, oh, I shouldn't do that in my own shots. And now I'm learning from them. I'm also making my own mistakes and going, oh, I shouldn't do this again. Learn and improve. So, yeah, very important to learn from others. I actually passed class 3 at AM, but I didn't feel ready to go into facial, so I'm retaking class 3. Good. That's actually a really good thing. I'm really excited to start class 3 again. There's a lot that I want to push and learn. I feel like I didn't push as much as I should have. Thank you for sharing, Bo. Definitely makes me feel better about my decision. Honestly, retaking class is one of the best decisions you can make. I didn't do it personally. I kind of wish I did. I feel like I would be further ahead in some ways if I had taken the time to either take a break from Animation Mentor to just like redo certain assignments and learn a little bit more before going into the more complex ones. But honestly, if you have to retake a class, whether it's because you didn't pass or just because you feel like you want a better understanding, that is good. Animation, everything builds up off of the fundamentals. If you don't have a solid grasp on that, everything above just becomes 100 times harder. If you don't have a good grasp of body mechanics and you're going into acting, acting isn't going to make the body mechanics any easier. The body mechanics are still going to be there and they're still going to be just as hard, if not harder. And then you're also adding facial acting and performance and lip sync and all of this stuff on top of it. So you want to have that good understanding before anything else. If you feel like you're not comfortable with it, take a break, keep practicing, retake a class. And then once you feel comfortable, then jump forward. Now, sometimes we can fall into the pit of like never being comfortable. It's that like, I don't feel like I'm ready. Oh, I won't go. I don't feel like I'm ready. I won't go. At some point, you have to take a leap and just do it. But that's where you talk to your mentor, you look at your grades, you talk to your classmates, you talk to your friends, see what they think of your skill level and where they feel like you should go. That's very important as well.